Welcome to BLOCKROCKET monthly pitch event July, organized by Disrupt Network. So before I hand over to Benjamin Hovas, who is our moderator today, I will quickly introduce about the event logistic. As this event is going to be big, everyone is going to be muted except for the speakers. If you have any question or suggestion during the talk, you can click in our LinkedIn post or join the WhatsApp group. And all our startups will also be here to answer all the questions you might have. And it's a very good way to keep in contact about blockchain topics. That is from my side. I hope you enjoy the event today. And now I will hand over to Benjamin to introduce.
Fantastic, thanks for the intro. Then also let me share my screen. Yes, okay, cool. Then good morning also from my side. So my name is Benjamin. I'm the managing director of BLOCKROCKET. We are an accelerator program for early stage blockchain startups from around the world, but our ecosystem is mainly based and focused on Germany. We have several aspects as an accelerator. So we invest seed tickets ranging from 100 to 250,000 euros, so pre-seed and seed startups. And we support startups in our program for up to 2 years with in regards to matchmaking, marketing, advisory, and mentorship. And basically, we focus on very early stage startups. So pre-seed and seed, as I've said, the earlier the better. So we're constantly looking for young teams that usually have pre-product market fit products that they're working on. Sometimes it's just a few people in their garage with a pitch deck. Sometimes they might already have some traction or an MVP already built. So in any case, if you fall in that category, or if you know someone, then please feel free to reach out to us to apply to our program. Then our program exists since around 2 years so far, and we have, as I've pointed out before, so especially within the German ecosystem, we have most of our network. We have more than 250 partnerships ranging from corporates, banks, consultants, other leading VCs, leading startups in that space. So basically an exchange with everyone constantly. We have 5 to 10 investments per year. As I said, investment tickets 100 to 250K, and yeah, more than 30 VCs in our network that we actively in exchange with. If you're a startup, our application process takes around 4 to 6 weeks. So in some cases, we can accelerate to 4 weeks if you're in urgent need of funding, ranging as multi-stage process, ranging from application until we then decide to come to an investment. I think for today, from our side, that's like so far so good. If you're interested in our program or want to find out more, please go on our website or reach out to us. Or, as I said, apply directly to our program. As for the event today, we have monthly pitch events. So the idea is to constantly try to introduce new blockchain startups in that space at an early stage. And for today, we again brought 4 startups. They will each pitch for 5 minutes. We have a 7 minutes Q&A. And we invited 4 jury members that will then lead the Q&A session together with you as an audience. So for you as an audience, you have the ability to pose questions. And then some of them we might use, or as a moderator, will try to include them into the Q&A session, or the startups can reach out then after directly to you. And the way it works is that at the end of the event today, we have a quick live voting session for you as the audience, like for which startup you enjoyed the most. And we also have the same internally for the jury. And then at the very end, we will announce basically a monthly winner, where we combine the scores of you as an audience plus the scores of our jury with 50-50. Okay, that's from our side. Then I would like to quickly jump over to the jury. So they have all the opportunity to introduce themselves, and then we will jump to the first pitch. So let's start with Wolfgang. Good morning, Wolfgang. Would you like to introduce yourself quickly?
Yes. Hi, good morning, Ben, and good morning, everyone. It's Wolfgang here, a partner at the Blockchain Founders Group. We're a company builder and a venture capital firm. Personally, I've been in the business of venture capital and private equity for about 20 years, seen many great founders, and it's really a privilege to work with those. Glad to be in the jury today with Sandra, Viviana, and Lina, and excited to hear from our pitch candidates.
Thank you, Wolfgang. Then next, we have Sandra. Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning. Thanks a lot for having me. I'm Sandra. I'm ODDO BHS blockchain expert and product manager. ODDO BHF is a French-German private bank with 2,500 employees and headquarters in Paris and in Frankfurt, and we are based in Switzerland as well. And I'm responsible to source and to develop investment opportunities in the digital asset space, in the blockchain space, for our private wealth management department. So I'm really, really keen to be here today, and I'm really curious what happened next, in your pitches. So thanks a lot for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you, Sandra. Then next would be Viviana. Good morning, Viviana.
Good morning. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me as well. I'm the Director of Entrepreneurial Programs at the ETH AI Center. At the ETH AI Center, we bring together research, industry, and startups all around trustworthy AI. Personally, my background is I've been in the startup world myself. I have led a startup myself. I was then in private equity and a couple of years in the Munich ecosystem building entrepreneurial programs there, mostly focused on AI and tech startups. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the pitches, and thanks for having me.
Perfect, thank you. Then last but not least, we have Lina. Good morning, Lina.
Good morning. My name is Lina Svensberg, and I'm based in Sweden, and I'm the program manager and the co-founder of a newly started accelerator, and we're also about to found our first investment company. It's called Digital Well Ventures, and we're working with emerging tech companies within health tech mainly. Our main geographical focus is the new Nordics, meaning the Nordic countries and the Baltics. And my personal specialty is also the interactions between startups and the public sector with new methods for public procurement and so on. So that's about me. I'm also an entrepreneur and have a couple of journeys behind me as well.
Fantastic. Then thanks to you all. And let's jump over the first startup for today, which is Fraser.
Cool, thanks Benjamin, really appreciate the intro. So saying hello over from the UK, so please don't judge me too harshly for that. But obviously Fraser from cheqd, we recently rebranded from Verum last week, hence why our logo is slightly incorrect on the intro slide. But what we're doing is we're building the trusted data economy, which is an easy tagline to throw out, but what does that mean tangibly? So what we're building is the incentivized network for self-sovereign identity. Get onto what that is in a second. But doing that through a dedicated network, dedicated token, and probably the coolest thing that we're doing is pluggable tokenomics. And again, I'll get onto that in a second. But firstly, the problem we're solving. So digital identity right now is broken. Just
Fraser, sorry to interrupt you. Would you like to make it full screen maybe? I think that's a bit clearer.
Yeah, sure, can do. Give me seconds.
Yeah, perfect. Sorry.
Yeah,
good to go.
Yeah, no problem at all. So yeah, identity at the moment is fundamentally broken. Certainly, digital identity is. It's all built around companies, and hence the data is company held and company controlled. The outcome of that from a user experience is that the average individual has roughly 130 to 200 different accounts, all tied to one email address. It's the reason why you have a load of passwords that you've forgotten. And it's a reason why the other set of passwords is on the dark web as a result of breaches where someone knows them better than you do. But self-sovereign identity kind of flips that paradigm on its head and gives people back their privacy, gives people back their data, and really puts the user at the center. So the user has control of their data on their device or on their cloud. They get to decide what they receive, who they share it to, and they always have visibility of where that data has gone for the duration of it. But the key thing to reiterate is giving people back their data and giving people back their privacy. But the problem with SSI right now is that it doesn't have a commercial model. It has no revenue streams attached to this. So myself and my co-founder, the CTO, Anka, are both aware of around 8 projects that are failing due to lack of commercial models. Companies don't talk about their failures, so we're pretty sure that there are many, many more of these. Failure means either they're stuck in innovation centers, never to be seen again, or they've outright failed and aren't delivering at all. So how we're solving this is building a dedicated network on Cosmos, a dedicated token, and then the identity capabilities required to support it. But as I mentioned, probably the coolest bit is the pluggable tokenomic side of things. And the key benefit here is that we're building customizable commercial models so that Across layer one, any organization can interact with any individual, but internal to an ecosystem, they can set up their own commercial model in the best way that suits them. They can have volume-based discounting, subscription, cost mutualization, anything that they wish that incentivizes their network the way that they need it to. And at the same time, we're building governance as code so that they are able to stand up governance without having to develop all of this from scratch. And we see that those kind of elements as being our key differentiators against the rest of the market. So against the others, we're able to be kind of ecosystem agnostic. We're able to, we're a public network, so anyone can join and gain the network of network effects. We're incentivized so that anyone can create a commercial model and make sure that there is a clear revenue stream for the identity data. But also crucially at the bottom, we are standards based and interoperable, which means that we can be kind of work with other networks if necessary, but also we can be at the forefront of all the innovations that are emerging in the space. And that last point is kind of crucial for kind of what we're doing later on with partnerships. But firstly, onto kind of our immediate traction. So as a result of that differentiation, we already have a network live between ourselves, Evonym, Outlier Ventures, and DidX, with many more to come. And crucially, Evonym are both an investor, but also the godfathers of the space. So they were the kind of creators of Sovereign, which you'll have seen on the previous slide, but also are now kind of bringing out the IATA travel pass, which is for airlines around the world, and many, many more. Our focus now is on bringing our main network live in autumn of this year, then progressively building out the tokenomics plugin to build more utility into the token and the network. And then beyond this, we're looking into moving across multiple ledger technologies and then going into creating secondary markets for identity and new revenue streams, all of which supporting SSI adoption in the background, which I'll close out on at the end. And then to go on to that kind of partnerships that I mentioned already. So as I've already said that Evonym are an investor, they're also our prime go-to-market partner who will be engaging certain verticals or certain country markets for us. We're then looking to build those same relationships with the other SSI vendors. So the likes of Trinsic, Mattis, Verity, Tycoon, those people who are doing great self-sovereign identity work around the world for different use cases, different countries, different industries. The final thing to mention here as well is that each of these organizations has the opportunity to become a node operator on the network. And since we're running Cosmos proof of stake, they'll actually be rewarded for bringing traffic onto the network. So there's a really nice symbiosis here in terms of them helping us go to market, but also getting rewarded for doing so. Which neatly brings me on to revenue stream. So obviously there's a proof of stake rewards, which kind of cover off the fees as a percentage of the value flowing across the network. But we're also looking into enterprise licensing for, say, networks that can't yet go onto a public mainnet. So say governments and the like, but also services. So the opportunity to provide governance and tokenomics guides as we start building more and more of these ecosystems out. And also then working with more go-to-market partners to go and do this. So ecosystem consulting, asset custody, hosting, support. So we have yet more go-to-market partners to recommend and advocate for our network without us having to go to market to every single end client. And that finally brings me on to kind of the scale of the opportunity here. So just one ecosystem for us could be worth around 14.4 billion. And whilst it's a large one in the US credit bureau market, it's also an industry or an ecosystem which is entirely built on reselling your data. Most of the people in the street won't know Equifax exists, yet they both resell your data and have been vulnerable to multiple breaches so far. And we'll be able to provide the infrastructure to support all of these. And the best kicker for us is there are hundreds to thousands of these ecosystems all springing up, whether it's identity data, whether it's international travel, whether it's pharmaceuticals, HR. There are so many of these ecosystems being established right now, and they all need underlying infrastructure and support to get the commercial models right. And finally, before I get onto kind of the investment, ask the team. So across the board, we kind of have high-performing individuals everywhere. So I myself was working with two governments on international SSI through the KTDI project, which you'll see the link on here. And prior to that, worked with a couple of central banks on cross-ledger payments. Anchor's been involved in biometrics, identity, AI, blockchain, has patents across multiple of those, and was most recently the senior product manager over at R3 Corda. Java is an award-winning CFO and has previously led a startup in blockchain and identity previously. And Eduardo has also held leadership positions across multiple startups, including his own agency. We then have the pleasure of being supported by Effortlessly as a board member, but the other key individuals for us are Stefan, who is a partner at Outlier Ventures, has taken the unusual step of becoming a board member with us. We also have Nico, who is more from the crypto and DeFi side of the business, and really well networked into those forums. And I guess the final resounding thing is we are raising or closing out around a 2.4 million at a 40 million pre-money valuation. We're already at 2 million of that and looking out to close out the remainder. I guess the final rallying call is that we'd love you to help us take back people's data and their privacy and give them back control. So happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Fraser. So in this case, 5 minutes Q&A, left, not 7, but yeah, let's jump to the Q&A. Do you guys have any questions so far?
No.
Fraser, maybe one. It's Wolfgang here. I'm not sure if I completely understand your value proposition. I understand it's very complex and overarching. I looked at quite a few identity projects, and what you described is absolutely comprehensible, saying they lack a clear financial model. Now, just to make it as simple as possible, when would somebody call you?
Sure. So great example is if I go through these projects on the network here. So this is a global map of SSI being adopted right now. And crucially, what's happening right now is they're almost in proof of concept or they're just about to hit production. But most of them have not figured out a commercial model to go and actually monetize or create revenue streams. And they're now beginning to look for homes. So I'm not saying all of these are immediate clients, but they're all going to be targets for us to go and start speaking to, as well as all the people who aren't on this map. And the key thing here is they're all engaged in self-sovereign identity projects, yet none of them have a monetization strategy yet. And that's something that we see is going to be needed almost inside the next 6 months. To that end, we've already had approaches from kind of end clients who are looking at self-sovereign identity as a technology paradigm, but basically they won't enter this until there is a commercial model behind it. So we've already had contact with a few of those, mostly from FS, strangely, to say we want to start monetizing some of this data that we have, but we need to understand how to do it through self-sovereign identity. So we're already starting to see that contact of, we need your network to be able to monetize it because, yeah.
Okay, and what is your traction so far?
Sure. So that's where, in terms of the network, and it's probably best to lean on this slide. In terms of the traction so far, we have a test network up live with Outlier Ventures, DidX, who build some of the technology, and Effortlessly. The key thing here is that Effortlessly already are a go-to-market partner in terms of they will begin going and engaging end clients with us. And we're then looking to go and build the same relationships with these organizations over the coming months. So as we head towards live in September, October time, kind of autumn, we'll be looking to build more of those partnerships to go and get the end clients onto the network.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, we had a question from the audience ranging, I think you mentioned competitors. Can you go back to your slide of competitors? Yeah.
Sure. And sorry, I missed, yeah, what was the question?
Who do you feel most afraid of at the moment? If I'm honest.
So actually, yeah, it's actually one that we need to add to this slide is Kilt. So they are built on Polkadot. They are, as far as we can tell, they're ecosystem agnostic. We think there'll be a public network because it'll be on Polkadot as a parachain. They will cover off this. As far as we can tell, they're not entirely meeting this part. And from that point, they are, from what we can tell, writing hashed information onto the ledger, which is typically a no-no. And so I think they're probably our closest. I'd say the differentiation that we have is working with the existing self-sovereign ID vendors. So the companies that are already selling out into the market are involved with us. And I'd say that's probably our closest competition, but also our differentiation there.
Okay. I think Lina, I think you raised your hand. Do you have a question? Or?
Yes, yes, I do.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I would like to combine this go-to-market slide a bit with a business model slide. If you could go back to the business model slide and explain
Sure.
how that fits together. I mean, which revenue models are you going to use the most and first? And have you got any traction in terms of, interested clients? I mean, what kind of proof do you have that this is going to actually generate revenue, and when?
Yeah, absolutely. So the main revenues will be transaction fees across the network. That's entirely what we're expecting. So in terms of traction, what we're seeing is DidX are involved in one company. I'm not sure if I can actually name them yet, but they're looking at using the network almost immediately to go and run their use case across it. We've then had other approaches from clients which are waiting for this to go live before they start looking at it. So when I mentioned kind of Evonym, they will be building applications on top of the network and then be going and engaging clients to bring us onto bring them onto the network at the right time. But we've already seen kind of inbound requests, inbound traction to say, as soon as this is live, we're interested in kind of seeing whether we can use this or not. Even before that, we're having discussions of what is it going to look like, because we want to know what it looks like so we can be ready to go and use it if necessary. So we're already starting to see those discussions happen. And that's without us really we launched our test network live last week. And we've only been around since March. So we're already seeing kind of lots of conversations that have emerged very, very quickly.
Cool. And how far away are you in time from, I mean, you're saying that you're testing now. I mean, in terms of this technology, what does that mean? When are you going to be live and be able to take on paying?
Yeah, autumn this year. So somewhere around October time is where we're aiming.
Cool. Right, fantastic. We need to move on, unfortunately, because of time. Thanks a lot for the questions. And thanks a lot, Fraser, for your pitch. Yeah. Then let's go to Oliver from Basenode as a second pitch.
Yeah, okay. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Then I will share my screen. Hope you can all see it.
Yes, but on full screen, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, hi, I'm Oliver, and I'm here today with my co-founder, David. And we're very happy to present you our startup, Basenode.io. Basenode aims to deliver token-based accounting and income statements for the global freelancer economy. But let's first start with our motivation for this project. What you can see here on this chart is the daily average number of cryptocurrency transactions on the major networks. And in 2021, this bar is off the chart. It's actually growing exponentially. And that's on one hand, of course, because we are in a global crypto bull market. And yes, I'm convinced we are still in a bull market. And on the other hand, it's because the broad institutional adoption of cryptocurrencies like PayPal, Visa, and other institutional players adopting it. And there's another correlated trend that we see rising, and that's the trend of freelancers adopting cryptocurrency payments. A lot of freelancers are situated in countries that are underbanked, countries in the developing markets like China, India, Philippines, South America, and so on. But a lot of their customers are actually located in the Western world, yeah, Central Europe or North America. And it so happens that often you have to send money across borders if you want to pay a freelancer. And everyone who has already tried doing that with a traditional bank transfer can relate to what I'm saying now. It will take a couple of business days and it will cost, well, at least $10 or more if you go cross continents. Even if you use payment apps like PayPal or TransferWise and so on, you will still pay a couple of euros in fees, and you have another risk: your payments can be withheld from you. If you use blockchain-based payments, you don't have to worry about having a bank account, and you also don't have to worry about your payment being retracted and so on. It's pretty fast, settled within minutes usually. It's cheaper than a wire transfer, depending on what blockchain you use, of course. And it's directly settled. So a lot of freelancers really want to embrace this token-based economy that is emerging right now. But there are some obstacles to overcome for them, because traditional accounting software is not really built for them. They are built on a fiat economy. And well, they offer token-based accounting in most cases, but it's mostly just as a plugin, and it's built on top of the fiat features So it's not really embracing the full potential of a token-based economy like these freelancers need it. And Basenode is about to change that. So we want to become the one-stop shop, the go-to platform for everything related to token-based accounting. We will be the one place where all the public data from the blockchain is aggregated and structured and presented to the user in a really engaging and clean and easy way. And of course, we will feature all the basic accounting features and more. And what do I mean by more? We will be the first token-based accounting software that will allow seamless fiat to crypto invoicing. If you're a freelancer, one of the major issues that you might face if you want to receive token-based payments on a blockchain is that your clients might not have a wallet or they might want to pay you in fiat. Well, with Basenode, you can just, with one click, create an invoice, send it to your client. In the invoice, there will be a link. They click on it and they can pay with traditional payment methods like credit card, PayPal, whatever they like. And the currency is converted automatically into the desired token of the freelancer. And they can, this will also further crypto adoption, of course. And I think it's a really cool feature. It's my favorite feature. When we were doing the competitor research, we also found that, well, there are some companies offering token-based accounting, but they often don't pay a lot of attention to the user interface. And in my opinion, it's one of the most important things to keep the user engaged and to make the experience really clean and simple. So we have a really strict rule. We only use symbol-based buttons, not so much text. We have a self-explanatory user interface. We avoid page reloads at all costs. If there's a dialogue with the user, we use a lightbox and the rest is dimmed out. So really, we want to keep the user in his workflow. And I'm personally a huge fan of dark modes. So of course, Basenode will be featuring an eye-friendly dark mode, of course. And the last thing that is really setting us apart from the competitors is the Lightning payments integration. With El Salvador adopting Bitcoin as an official means of payment, we see that the Lightning network plays a huge role in it. And when we were conducting interviews with freelancers, we found out that a lot of them are actually using Lightning-based payments because they are private, they are super fast and almost free. So we will be the first token-based accounting software that offers the integration of your own Lightning node and tracking of your payments. We have gained a lot of traction lately. On the left side, you can see our website. We have launched like a month ago, and we're seeing steady user numbers increasing. On the right side, you see the first thing that the user will see when they open our web app. This is the dashboard screen, and it's inspired by portfolio tracking apps, and it also features all the basic accounting functions, and it has features that you might know from banking apps, like the last activity screen on the right side. And have you ever wondered what the portfolio allocation of like the richest investor in crypto looks like? The richest Ethereum address, for example? With Basenode, it's super easy because you can just, with no login necessary, enter a public key. So you enter a blockchain address, and it will show you all the tokens that are on that address and how they are located and what is the worth of them. You can just do it super simple by putting the address in the search bar of your browser. You type basenode.io/ you put the public key, and then you can track, maybe some rich address or your contractor or a freelancer that you want to check. And it's a super cool feature in my opinion. So where are we with the progress of our project? This is our roadmap, and we're very much on time still. So I'm really proud of that. We started the minimum value product, so the MVP development. We launched a newsletter, and our goal is to have a closed beta with all the people that are waiting to test our products. We have an email waiting list. We will have more iterations, add more features, and the latest by the end of the year, we want to launch public. And after that, we will focus surely on user growth. And this is also what we're asking. So right now, we need about 200,000 euros to gain more traction, to invest in marketing, to make our product even better. We are supported currently by the Blockchain Founders Group, and we have enough money to do all the software development, but to become profitable, we need your help. This is our team. As you can see, we have about 7 employees right now. We are pretty complementary in all our skills. And most important, we are all convinced that crypto needs accounting. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks for the pitch, Oliver. Let's jump right into the Q&A. Are there some open questions?
Yes. So maybe I would have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, perfect. You have a really specific target group with freelancers. Is it like more first step for you? Because when I think about your business model, I really thought about our trade finance department, for example, because it solves a huge problem, and I'm sure it will be the future. And I would be really curious, if you thought about that before to really offer that for the banking side. Or is it really specifically for private people or even freelancers, as you mentioned?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. So we are right now only focusing on freelancers because we found in our market research that companies and other institutional players, they often already have accounting solutions, and it's really, they have a high cost of changing their accounting software. So they usually want to keep their habits of workflow. And a lot of freelancers are currently not using, or they're not so attached to their current accounting. And we are entering kind of a blue ocean here. I haven't really talked about the revenue model, so it will be a freemium model, which is what most of the players do in the market. And we see a lot of the players entering the market right now because, yeah, it's not really, the market shares haven't really been distributed, so we have to be quick and have to offer the best experience.
Okay, we have I think two questions from the jury. And then we need to move quickly in terms of time. So Viviana and Dina. Sorry, Sandra, if you cut you short. Was that your question? Is that fine? Okay, perfect. Then Viviana, do you want to go next?
Thanks so much. So you talked about same direction, target group. You talked about tackling globally the freelancers. Do you have any specific region in mind to start with? And do you see any, and why? Is there any other circumstances that are special in specific regions? Why do you want to go in a specific market, and how do you want to move forward from that? So maybe you can talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, that's also a really good question. I haven't really talked about it. So we're still in the process of conducting the research on that. But well, it makes sense to go into developing markets because there a lot of people are forced to use only crypto accounting because the banking system is not so well established like here. And so if you have a look at the freelancer market, it's really scattered. It's really hard to grasp the freelance market because they don't have like a union or like an association really where they all member of. So you need to go to places like Reddit and so on to really get in touch with them and find them, and we do that. And well, we found that that's really just the best way to reach them. Yeah. I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
Maybe I can add something to that.
Oh yeah.
Currently we are building our MVP, but in our alpha or beta version, we are aiming to integrate also Lightning payments. And for that, we are also aiming to target countries like El Salvador, who are currently adopting Bitcoin and Bitcoin payments via Lightning. So there are also, as Oliver said, other emerging markets also in the Southern America, where we could build a solution for the freelancers there.
Okay, thanks for the comment. Then last question from Lina, and then we move to next startup.
Yes, I got two very short questions. You mentioned a waiting list. How many are on that list and where are they from? And secondly, have you got any estimation on how many clients you need in order to break even in the future?
Yeah, so let me just take the first question. We have around 300, right now it's more than 400 lead users waiting. And well, the rate of growth is pretty rapid. So we are getting like 20 to 40 more users every day, but it's really hard to reach them. And yeah, the second question, maybe David, you can also take it.
Sorry, can you repeat your question again?
How many paying clients you need in order to break even, and rough estimation for the future?
Well, in the future we won't have that high running costs because we only will provide an app. So you can expect, we didn't our pricing yet because we are currently aiming to gain growth with our product. And after that, we are implementing pricing features. For example, if you want to build a report on our Basenode site, or if you, yeah, and in that case, we did the calculations yet how many reports we have in specifically to break even in that point.
Okay, understood. Does it answer your questions, Tina?
Not really, but it's perfectly okay.
Okay, then we keep it there. Otherwise, I'm happy to create a contact if you want to follow up with them later on, yeah, for more detailed review. Okay, cool. Thanks, Oliver. Thanks for the pitch.
Thank you.
Then for timing, let's jump to the next one. Let's jump to Kamil again from Tokenguard.
Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you, yes.
Yes, finally. Oh my God. Great, great. Hi guys, my name is Kamil Gorski. I'm the CEO of the Tokenguard project. Previously, I've been setting up hardware and IT startups as well, and I've been a former programmer and hacker and security specialist for over 7 years. And today I would like to present you the Tokenguard project. So here goes the presentation. Can you see it?
I think your internet connection is not that great, like your video is lagging, but let's try your slides. Can you switch slides to see if there's a time lag or not? Because if not, then I think it's still fine. Yeah, okay, looks good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so ICOs and other token generation events are expected to surpass the traditional ways of funding, by which I mean IPOs or bond emissions or crowdfunding within the next 5 years. We all understand the optimization that blockchain actually brings in terms of operations and scalability to financial markets. However, there's one huge obstacle in order to actually achieve crypto mass adoption, and this obstacle is the security. So in 2020 alone, more than $7 billion of US dollars were lost due to hacks and scams by private and institutional investors. Hacks accounted for almost 10% of all money lost in blockchain, and scams and frauds accounted for almost 70% of all money lost in blockchain. This is why we've created a Tokenguard project, which is a comprehensive software as a service security suite for both token issuance on one side and private and institutional investors on the other side. So from the token issuer perspective, we deliver a interactive smart contract and token management dashboard, which includes a few separate features. The first feature is the automated vulnerability detection software that actually allows to verify the code underlying a smart contract or a token. The results are coming within 3 hours from publishing the code. So you can actually, all by yourself, you can verify either yours or other tokens that are available on the network. And this feature is already live on our website. So I recommend and invite you to test it. And if you have any token projects or investors in our audience, then I also invite you to test the software. You can contact me on LinkedIn and we can have a small journey through the software. Right now we support Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and Polygon, but we're working on supporting other blockchains as well. The second feature for token issuers is a smart contract monitor that actually allows to alert both token issuers and their investors on potential attacks in real time. This allows in the future, for example, to create a smart contract firewall that will be actively blocking hack attempts from a smart contract. Sorry, did you mute me?
Yeah, the last 5 seconds you were gone, but yeah, can hear you again.
Oh, sorry.
It's
so,
okay.
The technology is developed for Ethereum Binance Smart Chain right now, but it can be copied to other blockchains as well. And we are launching this feature in the next 2 months. So again, if we have any token issuers in our audience, I'm really happy to talk with you. And from the perspective of an investor, we deliver a real-time information API that informs both private and institutional investors about attacks and current token ratings. This information can be sent to banks and HFT funds, for example, or algorithmic trading bots within milliseconds in order to decrease potential losses in case of a hack scenario. So when you have a $50 million US investment, the usual attack on blockchain takes from a few seconds up to a few minutes. If you have an automated algorithmic trading bot, you're able to actually sell the tokens before the price drops down on DeFi's or DEXs. And of course, we believe that the knowledge about potential attacks on tokens should be spread on the network as quickly as possible. We are part of the ITSA organization, with which we're integrating our database so that ITSA will show our token scorings and we'll be showing ITSA information. And together we're cooperating on creating a secure framework for token development. We know our competition very well. We value their work. We believe that in case of blockchain ecosystem, we need all hands on deck. So we want to actually include all the information that we can gather from auditors, launchpads, and standalone tools in a security agency, which the Tokenguard project will be in the near future. And in case of revenues, we have so far already surpassed our third quarter target for 2021. It's not very big, but still we have surpassed it within 1 month. So we expect to surpass other targets for next quarters as well. We have different pricing plans for both token teams and institutional and enterprise investors. Our team consists of the best Polish developers together with a University of Warsaw lecturer, Mr. Alexey Schubert. We have people who have been previously working in big financial corporations as well as IT companies such as Credit Suisse, Standard Chartered, IBM, and Deloitte. And right now we're gathering from $1 to $1.5 million US. And in the second quarter of 2022, we are planning to launch our own token in order to democratize the security standard process. Thank you very much. I hope there were not too many technical difficulties.
Oh, good. Thanks, Kamil. Thanks a lot. Cool. Then let's jump to I think Sandra's already raising her hand. So first question goes to Sandra.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks. Thanks a lot, Kamil, for this very clear pitch. I have one question, because even traditional rating agencies are really struggling with one thing, and I think it's the most important thing for rating agencies. It's like the reputation and it's the credibility. How do you want to build that?
Okay, so I'm in the crypto market for 3 years right now in terms of security, and all the security companies in the crypto market have had some troubles with audits that didn't really work out because the projects were hacked afterwards. So mistakes happen in this ecosystem. I believe that everybody understands it. What we're planning to do is to collect information from different sources on the network in order to actually deliver the valuable information as quickly as possible. However, we cannot guarantee that audits either conducted by us or by any other company on the market are 100% sure, because nobody can guarantee that.
Okay.
In terms of building reputation, we are doing our best in order to actually deliver the highest level of security. We haven't had any fuck up so far, and we have conducted a number of audits as well. So,
Okay.
Maybe on this point, Kamil, I mean, you mentioned three competitors. What is the rocket science here? I mean, what makes one competitor better than another, and what makes you better compared to the other three that you put on the slide?
Yes, so on the slide, you can see not only our competition, but other sources of the information as well. The direct competitor we have here is the CERTIC Foundation, which is a great foundation. I really value their work because they're doing extremely well job. We are kind of different because we the first thing we deliver is a self-contained audits, automated audits that you can conduct all by yourself. CERTIC doesn't deliver such functionality. CERTIC is based mostly on manual audits that take at least 2 weeks to conduct. Right now, the queue in order to conduct an audit is so huge that it may take 2 to 3 months of waiting for projects to be actually audited. So we believe that it is better to deliver at least some part of the security available for projects and investors that want to, for example, invest in a token that is available on the network.
Okay.
There's just not enough good blockchain developers on the market to audit all the code that is being created right now.
All right. Thank you very much. Then for timing, jump to last pitch. Thanks, Kamil. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks.
Then, and lastly for today, we have Holger from ipOcean.
So hello, can you all hear me? So let me share the screen first. If you can't hear me.
Sounds good.
Sound is very good. Okay. So what we're doing is, so you with us, you can start your technology, your store, or you can start your innovation challenge in the internet. It's easy, it's fast, affordable, and protected. And this works via a solution network, which is ipOcean. I am the CEO of ipOcean, and I want to quickly present to you what it's all about and behind that. We already have made a proof of concept. So we have all the adopters on the platform, paying users, they are validating the need, as well as that we are in discussions or that we are selling currently the distribution right for the MENA regions is really validating also the global demand. And our clients are saying simply, if you're using it as a technology or invention store, we are already seeing as a LinkedIn for technology. The Helmholtz Institutes on the platform, other institutes will join. And on the side of innovation challenges, we work together with Yakima. They see as a really protective, flexible framework for innovation challenges, running full hackathons. Other companies, big companies are now coming on the platform, which are our lighthouse projects, which creates a lot of visibility for us. And we are also targeting clusters, and a couple of startups here that we have a really nice or very good networking for investors and strategic partners to find, especially for the product market fit, the right partners. And what are all these people in common? It's all innovation, because innovation is important. The pressure for innovation is increasing because companies have to be successful on the one hand side, and we have to innovate quicker because we have to fight global key risks together. But there are key hurdles for innovation. And the key hurdle is on the one hand side, everything we know, the investor's dilemma. So we are not in touch with the right audience to develop our solutions, which is easy. But the complexity, uncertainty, and so on is increasing because of digitization. And on the other side, we are facing limited access to talent, limited resources, and really limited time. And the solution is pretty simple, it's collaboration. But, and that's exactly what the problem comes with, if you're starting collaboration, you're facing one problem is, the first thing is you have to create the visibility that you know whom to collaborate with. On the other side, if you want to start, you have to sort out your intellectual property rights, because the best ideas are characterized by the fact that they're simply copied quickly. And we did a lot of surveys in this area, and the major answer is collaboration is complex, because the biggest problem is sorting out these different type of IPs that exist. There's so many. On top of that, there are so many ways of protecting it. And if you're starting collaboration, it's simply starting being time consuming, and it's very, very expensive. And especially you're missing here many, many opportunities. That's what our target audience, what our clients want to solve. And they're solving it with a protected social network, and this is ipOcean. It's a solution network. On the one hand side, we have engagement element to get the visibility, on the other side, protection. And the protection comes because of all the blockchain technology we are using. You can secure your data, you have data securitization, you don't have to upload your data for this one. You have controlled visibility via group. You can really control who can see your data. You can sign virtual contracts on the platform using the blockchain technology before you exchange data. And you have a clear user identification because of the blockchain identity and a clear self-sovereign identity link to identify the people. On the engagement side, we have content sharing in there. So the posts do not get lost. They can share it even in social media. The event management makes sure people are coming in and really working and seeing your protected data in your area. The matchmaking algorithm to make sure people on the platform meet each other, even without being on the platform. And surely with the messaging, one side is creating the trust. The other side is creating the traffic and visibility. And this is all done with proprietary blockchain technology, with the protocols that's GDPR compliant fully. We have a patent application filed. You can do proof of ownership, contact point, delivery, and so on. And you can use the thing throughout the innovation process, from ideation to incubation. You simply go through all the teams, you grow your teams, collect proposals, protect your sharing, share your information, do evaluations, and then go for the next phase. This way you can really speed up the full innovation process by from phase ideation over the hackathon, over to acceleration or incubation. You're simply using the platform. And in the end, you can sort out your contribution, you can sort out your IPR to really go forward. And this all comes, how do we monetize? It's a freemium model. Everybody can come on. If you're growing your client base on the platform, you have to upgrade into a paid subscription. So with a basic account, you only can serve a limited number of clients. And the best seller is really the premium together with the start package. The start package is needed for a couple of companies because these companies have, in the end of the day, don't the resources to set everything up. We are doing it for them. And the competition is limited because there are hundreds of databases out there who are providing this stuff, but they don't have any protection. The majority do not have securitization of sensitive data. None of them has a virtual legal process. So there's limited competition. The go-to-market is very important because what we are doing is we're going out there. We are creating example setups, winning the clients. They are starting pilots. They create content with this and they're inviting their network on our platform. Therefore, we have new leads on the platform, and this is scalable and also automatable because we have a platform we can simply tell everybody how it works. The total addressable market is about 60 billion. If you're looking to the number of companies we are targeting, this serviceable pending market is 70 million. I think it's easy to reach. If you're looking from a top-down level, it's also validated via comparative figures. This is all built on a very strong team because we have really the experience in the leadership area and the marketing area, as well as on the blockchain side. And behind in the background, you're seeing the team of ipOcean that stands behind that, delivering all of that to our clients. With respect to timeline, we are now reaching out to the DACH and European region to really use our positioning. And we're looking now for seed and to finance the next round. And here we are out there and looking for 1 million in equities on convertibles. If you're interested, please contact us for detail. We have a strong pipeline. We are not opening up our pipeline because these are big companies and they want to not be known before we are closing the deals here. We are in the sale, in the middle of the selling the MENA distribution rights, and we are using the funds mainly really for the sales initiatives. So the overall platform was developed together with the industry. It's not built on us alone because we needed the feedback to build all the features because the protection is important. But in the end, the engagement is really important. And so if you want to join us here as a startup, as an investors, please come to my.ipOcean.com and happy to answer any question here.
Fantastic. Thank you, Holger. Before we jump to the Q&A, since it's the last startup for today, let's do the voting first, and then we can do the evaluation while we have the Q&A. So, Alexandra, I would ask you to start the poll for the audience. So you as the audience, again, for transparency, you have the option to vote for your favorite start from today, and the jury members will also vote. And in the backend, it takes us like 2 or 3 minutes, and then we can announce from our side who won, and the distribution is 50-50. To the jury, same thing. Please use the Google form that we've sent you. If you have any issues accessing it, let me know. So we give this maybe like 20-30 seconds, and then.
Maybe I can start with a question in the meantime.
Yes, please, please. Go ahead. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks very much, Holger. I was just wondering, what is your current traction in terms of? I mean, you talked about pilots, but are you already in the revenue stage, or are you basically pre-revenue?
No, we already have revenues, so we are generating the first revenues. We have the first contracts out, so these feedback are coming from paying clients, and we are currently negotiating the next stage deals with big companies as they run full hackathons on the platform. But we are already in the mode that we are generating revenues. And if you're looking to the overall model, we need 250 clients in our best-selling product to be profitable, yeah, or to run break even at the current run rate.
250 clients. Okay.
Yes. And we already have a number of clients, so therefore.
Okay, we have room for one. Yeah, please, Lina, go ahead.
Yes, first of all, thanks a lot for the presentation. In this here, I'm kind of wearing the client hat a bit more than an investor hat, because I'm running a lot of these like public procurement innovation challenges and similar. So I definitely see what you're going for, and I can, I can only cross my fingers that this will, be as good as you say that it will be, because there's a huge need out there. I know that. The only thing that kind of worries me slightly, that is, I mean, if I would buy this and use this in my challenges, I would like to make sure that it's a really slick UX, so that people really want to work with that, and it's a bit sticky. And I don't see the UX on your team slide. I don't see the UX in your presentation, even if the material is great. I don't see the UX expertise there and the design side of it. So what's your plan for that?
Yes, definitely the UX side is very important. It comes in the end of the day. The younger people love the UX side because they say it's all intuitively. The older guys say, I want to have a one-click button. It is one of the key features. You can do everything in one go. The feedback from the younger generation is very easy to do everything. The feedback from the older generation is it looks like LinkedIn, it works like LinkedIn. And if you're looking to the UX here, that's the UX currently. So you're seeing there are the publications in the middle. It looks like LinkedIn. It's very easy to create your new entry. It's very easy to create your marketplace to run hackathons. You can set up your hackathon within minutes. We are working with mind maps with our clients. This is one of the key features. The mind maps are simply showing how the structure works if you're running a hackathon, because the hackathon can get very, very complex. But that's the reason why the big clients are working with us now. So we are in discussion with a big hackathon organization in Switzerland, with one in the US for next year. We are in discussion with really a big innovation provider in Germany who is running open innovation. And they're simply using the platform for exactly, they do crowd innovation. So they want to have crowd ideation, and they want to have a crowd evaluation in the end. You can only organize this via such a platform. And that's what we are simply doing. And that's what we're simply providing. Yeah. And you can create structures on the platform. And this UX will further and further develop and get more smooth and more easy, because we are building everything on the feedback of users. The whole platform was developed this way.
All right. Any remaining questions, or so far so good? Okay, perfect. Then, yeah, this was a close call. So audience vote and jury vote does not always correlate. So in this case, the winner for this monthly event is Oliver from Basenode. So congratulations, Oliver and team. Thanks for the pitch. It was well prepared. Yeah, so at this point we have monthly pitches. So please tune in next month if you want to. We will also organize a large event at the end of the year, like awards, and we will come up with new formats, of course, in between. At this point, I would like to thanks especially to the jury, to the startups, and of course also to Disrupt Network. And as always, last words go to Disrupt Network. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you everyone for joining the event, and thank you all the speakers for your interesting insight. Please join the WhatsApp group that I shared in the beginning so we can continue to exchange the conversation. And I hope to see you in our next event. Bye.